Welcome to a special mini episode of Rebels Without a Pod, the show that dares ask the question, can we ever recapture that Chuck Norris armadillo magic?
Nope, we can't.
Nope, no possibility.
Nope.
So this whole cycle is essentially doomed.
Yep.
All right. Good.
Which will make it even more fun.
Uphill battles spur creativity. My name is John, and I'm joined tonight by my co-host Andy.
What's up?
Yeah. Regular listeners to the show know that we usually do these thematic cycles of 4 movies. Each movie during a given cycle in the past has been chosen by one of the co-hosts on the show, but moving forward, we're going to experiment. We're going to change up the format like a little bit. The 4th and final movie of these thematic cycles that we do is now actually going to be chosen by you, the listener. So here's how this will basically work. We're doing this with online surveys that our audience can go in and fill out. We're an audio-only podcast and trying to get established on Spotify, so the surveys will be available exclusively just on that particular platform, even though we do plan to keep publishing on both Spotify and YouTube. For anybody listening on YouTube, there will be a link in these episodes in the episode description for this particular record to our Spotify channel in the survey. And if you're actually already there, the survey itself will be attached to this episode. So we're producing these mini episodes as a way to explore upcoming surveys in like a little bit more depth. Talk with the hosts, get like a bit more just context and how we're feeling about like the cycles we're going through. Over the next month, we're going to be doing our thematic cycle, Cannonized. A look at the high-schlock features of notorious 1980s production house Cannon Films. Now, Cannonized was Andy's pick, so that's why he's here tonight. We're going to have a little one-on-one conversation about the cycle, about B-movies in general, and at the end, we'll sort of kind of talk up and offer some extra detail to the survey we're going to be putting up on Spotify. So, Andy, my friend, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome to you as well.
So let's kind of just jump right into Cannonized for this. Before we talk about the specifics of like the cycle itself, we're coming up on 2 years doing this podcast.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just time is a snarling bitch goddess.
It really is.
All right. Out of the 4 hosts on the show, Eric and I, we sort of been kind of sickos and just guys who are into we probably got our start with kind of VHS rentals and Mystery Science Theater and eventually riff tracks, all the rest of it. It's kind of been like a cornerstone like of our adult friendships. The Veen just kind of sort of like pretty broadly seems to like enjoy just about everything that we watch, but out of the 4 hosts, it would probably be fair to say you've had like the most mixed reactions to like the B movies that we've covered. I remember Basket Case was a kind of a particular like trying sit for you.
Yeah.
What are some like the other ones? Like, were you there for Quiet Wilderness?
Yes. Yeah, but then there was also Inframan.
Inframan, you had a little bit of a tough time with.
That was challenging. Santa Claus and the Ice Cream Bunny. Opportunity Knocks. I don't know if that's a B movie, but it's certainly an F movie.
I don't quite remember covering that, but
right. I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah,
you're right.
But however, let me say to you, you have, as with all things, kind of showed an admirable amount of kind of patience and curiosity throughout. How do you think, just before we get into Cannonized itself, how has your relationship with the B movies changed generally over like the 2 years that we've been doing the show?
Oh boy. So I would say, largely speaking, even the B movies that I don't necessarily enjoy while I'm watching them, I still enjoy that I am watching them. I like that I like that I can say that I've seen Basket Case and that I can say that I've seen Inframan and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And the way I figure it, there's a solid chance that if I keep watching them, there are going to be some that really jump out at me that I love. Like I loved Creepshow. That was super fun, except for the bug part.
Right.
I'm trying to think of what else that we've watched that would be considered B movies. But so anyway, there's gems out there, and I'm just waiting to discover them at this point.
I generally always find with like B movies, it's a bigger swing at the end of the day. First off, it's a much more as you get older, if the inertia to kind of go and take risks on just kind of sitting down and engaging with with art can be kind of just tricky in the best circumstance. We're all middle age, we're all tired. B movies, you're always kind of like taking like a bigger swing, and like that swing misses a pretty fair percentage of the time. But I feel like in my personal experience, when something is really funny, when it really kind of lands for you, it's a bigger high than if you end up seeing something kind of predictably decent, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that's really well put. And maybe that is what I kind of appreciate most about it is like, yeah, most of the time you're gonna miss, but when you find that one that hits, it's like, holy shit, I found a movie that I'm gonna love like for the rest of my life.
Right. I think there's also maybe like a broader thing, and in some amount maybe of your artistic inclinations, your creative inclinations may be kind of like a little bit sort of stimulated here. B movies are sort of, just one of the fundamental sort of defining things about them is that these are amateur efforts. These are the smaller scope, lower budget. These are not these sort of big Hollywood blockbusters, MCU, just billion-dollar, kind of grossing massive thing that it's just kind of outside of like the reach and grasp of any person who just kind of wants to like make stuff and be creative. I personally find like seeing something like Basket Case, it's exciting to kind of think about like this is a movie the guy made for $30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's true, and it was what made me originally start suggesting to you to write a movie or write a screenplay or whatever, because I think the low budget stuff that I've seen, it's like, okay, maybe not, can we do that as well as that guy did, but we can certainly do something. We can certainly make something that will be
outside of the stratosphere of possibility.
Right. You watch Endgame and you're like, well, that might as well be, I don't even know that's so far out of the
made for more than like the GDP of like just most second and third world countries.
Yeah. It's so far out of the realm of even like possibility or my own creative aspirations that there's just no chance I'd ever make a movie like that. But I could see myself making a schlocky, maybe funny horror movie or whatever, maybe a cheesy sci-fi, the type of thing that you would see on MST3K or whatever.
It's a reminder that you don't have to be industry, you don't have to be professional, you can just be. It may not be good, but that can kind of be okay potentially.
Part of the fun.
Yeah.
In fact, I almost hope that when we do actually make our schlocky horror movie, there is a part of me that, of course, I want it to come out well, but I also want it to be like, to an extent, epically bad. I want people to go like, what the fuck did I just watch? But also remember it, when they wake up tomorrow, kind of a thing. So
right. So that's a perfect pivot there. Thinking about sort of canon films, we'll get into like the history of like this production house itself, which is as crazy and sordid a tale as anything that they depict in their films. But on the podcast for like the past couple of years, we've only done a single canon film production at that point, and that was Chuck Norris's Invasion USA. I want to say that was last summer, Labor Day weekend. It's the one and only time I drank whiskey while we were doing like an episode of this podcast. I remember immediately having a terrible headache because it was about 112 degrees like outside, like in Vegas. And I remember just personally kind of being confused like the entire. It's that movie is weird on its face, but it's one of those that gets stranger and stranger like the further you kind of like dig into it. Like the stat I always love to cite is, for a long time on home video, Invasion USA was the highest renting MGM produced film of all time until Titanic was actually released.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I can't even believe that's true.
Yeah. So I'm curious for this idea that you had for I'd like to do a canonized cycle where we watch like a whole bunch of these at the same time. Was Invasion USA specifically a kind of like an inspiration for you?
I would say it was probably one of the inspirations for it. I think the bigger
Mhm.
inspiration is just all of the sort of B weird movies
Mhm.
that we have watched.
Right.
And, when you look into the canonized
Mhm.
filmography,
I
it
think I actually kind of send you like a long list of
yeah.
kind of what's considered their weirdest and best kind of 10 or 20, whatever it's.
And it's just like it's like one after the next is just weirder and stranger. So
Mhm.
it just seemed like if we were gonna do B movies, to
Mhm.
narrow it down to a single production house that
Right.
has so many just bizarre,
Mhm.
off the wall ideas that
What's
they
so weird about them is they were not even weird in one particular way. It's just one bananas thing after another.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It was like they basically threw shit at the wall to see what would stick, and it turned out that all of it stuck.
Right. Right.
Like, okay, well, I guess that's our movie.
All of it stuck and also smelled like a little bit bad if you kind of hung around
Yeah,
too
yeah,
long.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I wouldn't say that it was specifically Invasion USA, but that one definitely is
Mhm.
one of the ones that inspired me.
As a sampler for what a full platter of like a thematic cycle might actually be. That kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
And the thing that amazed me, I think, more than anything else is like, once you sent me that list of movies that they've made, I guess in my mind I was expecting it to be more one note than it was, but I
Hmm.
mean,
Hmm.
they span
They
every
did a little
genre.
bit of everything. They
Yeah, yeah. Which made me even more, I guess, excited about doing this.
yeah, yeah. Well, let's look at like the four canonized movies that we have slated so far. There's from 1985. There's a film called Life Force. This is a science fiction film, but very early Patrick Stewart performance. I believe I mentioned this at the end of the They Live podcast, but it has a scene where Patrick Stewart breaks into tears because this alien woman just has like such a rocking pair of tits that he's just completely spiritually and emotionally overwhelmed.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
There is a Ninja 3, The Domination. This is from 1984. This is a film I actually watched with my brother where the spirit of a killer ninja possesses an 80s aerobic instructor. That's
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
why
like
not?
a little bit like Flashdance meets The Grudge.
Yep,
That's
yep.
going to be that's a very very special one. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, 1986. Eric, of course, knows a lot about this one. This, I guess, is technically a sequel to kind of like like the horror classic original, but Eric describes it as much more of a trauma film.
Okay.
And finally, for like the films that we have slated, this is kind of like this is a movie that sort of looms very large in my imagination. We are going to do a live watch in response to the Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella 1987 He-Man and the Masters of the Universe canon produced film.
Yep.
And the Dolph Lundgren He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Any memory of this as a child?
Very, very little.
Uh,
I seem to remember He-Man on some type of flying machine.
mhm.
Um, I remember at the time being completely bewildered by why all of it took place in like suburban wherever.
Burbank at Night, I think is like the actual, yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
I completely just didn't understand because I was a huge He-Man fan
Very much the
as
same.
a kid. Yeah, you too, I know.
Mhm.
I had the toys, I watched the show, just the whole thing. I was all about it. One of my favorites at that time. So I went into this movie thinking like, oh, it's gonna be He-Man, like it's gonna
Yeah.
be the He-Man that I know. And it
How can
very
this
much
not
was
at
not.
least be really, really great?
Yes, and it
Yeah.
was not.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, yeah, that one's gonna be interesting. I have not seen it, I don't think at all since then. I think I've seen
Mhm.
it one time when it first came out, when it first came out on VHS, so probably 1988, because
Right.
I know the movie was 87. So, and that was the one and only time I think I've ever watched it. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
For me, this one, we'll leave it at Naveen's old bass player. And his mother took the two of us to see this in theaters opening weekend,
Oh, wow.
1987. When you're 7 years old, you're dumb as shit, right? Like
Yeah, super dumb.
and I think that there's a thing that happens at some point of for a long time, even after kind of just cognition and long-term memory and like the ability to kind of like evaluate things, I think really kind of sets in and grows in your brain. You, at least as a boy, and at least as a boy like in the 1980s, you for a while you don't give a shit if you're watching a movie because you're just like, I'm having a great time. I'm watching a movie. Right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the theater, you're eating popcorn, candy, soda. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just all of it should be great. I struggle to think of an earlier movie that I remember kind of not feeling this way than the Dolph Lundgren Masters of the Universe. It's the first time in a movie theater I remember feeling kind of a hard to describe emotion at the time that I later pinned down as disappointed and kind of bummed out.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair.
And cherry on top of this is a movie I tried to go back to and rewatch in college. Got about 10 minutes in, I'm like, wow, this is actually a real piece of shit. I was watching like just I was a fucking garbage disposal for like the films I would like watch back in undergrad.
Yep.
And so for me to kind of clock out like 10 minutes in at age 22, 23 is it's pretty bad. So
yeah, it'll be very interesting to do this one, watch this one with all you guys. And yeah, I don't know.
Right.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll have to see how it goes. One thing we will be doing at the time when this works out, I think all four of us have plans to see like the theatrical release of the new He-Man movie in the theaters coming about.
Definitely.
So I think we'll probably, after doing like the live watch, we'll probably try to tag a live review to the thing like on top of it. We'll have to see how that goes down. You know, we are very much, as we say all the time, teenagers in the 90s, children of the 80s. So I think, if for at least me personally, doing like 2 back-to-back He-Man episodes, I don't think it's going to be too big a stretch.
No, not at all. And from what I don't want to get my hopes too high, but from what I've seen from the trailer of the new He-Man movie, it looks like what we wanted back in '87.
What 1000% is that film was written by 6 or 7 guys that look identical to me.
Yes,
kind of like
without question.
It'll be. I don't know if it'll be a good time. Have a hard time imagining it'll be a bad time though.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic about it. Maybe shame on me for being optimistic about anything anymore, but for some reason I think I'm going to walk out of that movie grinning ear to ear, thinking it was a fucking blast. Even if it wasn't a good movie, it was still the most fun.
What may actually help if we do like the pre-watch, like the Dolph Lundgren He-Man, like ahead of time, maybe like our expectations or just our general emotional state will sort of be sort of kind of low and compressed, you know?
Yep. That is a real possibility.
Right. Yeah. Just I don't know. It just anything that's not teenage Courtney Cox dealing with like 3rd-degree burns and Will Dwarf kind of revealing about the key. Like this one is going to be like a fucking expedition. But out of the 4, Life Force, Ninja 3, The Domination, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and the live watch of Masters of the Universe, is there any one that you're particularly looking forward to?
Ninja 3.
Ninja 3, yeah.
No doubt about it. I think of all the movies that we're watching, the one I'm least excited for is my own pick, Life Force, which I still think is going to be
Patrick Stewart breaking into tears just because this alien chick just has the most rocking tits.
Yeah, I'm all.
It might not be a good time.
Yeah, that's right.
It'll be a bad time,
but it'll be a great time. But yeah, I think Ninja 3, based on what I've read of, the synopsis that you kind of sent to me and that I've read about it, just sounds like an absolute fever dream.
Yeah. My brother is the absolute Mozart of kind of like finding these things in like my Sally area. Like, I was visiting farm a few months back. My brother just kind of randomly throws this thing on over the night, and just I look like the Scream Mask. My jaw just on the floor the entire time. This thing is,
yeah. That one's gonna be. I already know that one's gonna be fun.
I would leave it. I would leave that as if Eric actually described the plot for me beat to beat. I would think he was just like lying to my face the entire time.
Yeah, sounds right.
So let's get into our survey though. So there was, as we talked about, like a lot of different options from just really all over the spectrum for the last movie with the last audience member picked film we could do for Cannonized. But we kind of bounced around a bit. We narrowed it down to 4. We probably could have put 12 on this thing if we wanted, but I think kind of like less will be sort of more for this particular one. Our survey options. Got little synopses for like the 4 the 4 finalists here. Let me read those off real quick. First one is called The Apple. This is from 1980. It is the futuristic year of 1994, And the world is ruled by an evil music mogul who forces everyone to wear silver triangles and dance to synth-pop. When two innocent folk singers enter Worldvision, they must resist the glittery temptations of fame, drugs, and disco Satan to save their souls. It is a biblical rock opera fever dream that proves the only thing more dangerous than the music industry is a rhinestone-encrusted jumpsuit.
Take my money.
Take my money. Number 2, The Barbarians, 1987. Take the biggest, oiliest twin bodybuilders you can find, put them in fur loincloths, and let them scream their way through a fantasy wasteland. Actually kind of sounds like the Dolph Lundgren He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
The Paul brothers star as brothers separated at birth, who reunite to flex their pectoral muscles and rescue their queen from a sorcerer with a questionable wig. This still sounds like a lot like He-Man. It is a loud, sweaty, and wonderfully absurd sword-and-sorcery epic where the muscles are real, but the logic is strictly optional.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good?
Yep.
Number 4, Cobra. Film I have never watched. I just have to read the title. The VHS box immediately pops in my head when I see Cobra.
Yep.
Yep. Sylvester Stallone, who I don't think we've covered on the podcast.
We have not.
We have not covered any starring. We haven't done like a single Sly at this point.
Not a single Sylvester Stallone movie yet.
All right, well, something maybe like circle back around to. Sylvester Stallone is Marion Cobretti.
Of course he is.
A cop who wears aviators indoors, chews on a matchstick, and cuts his pizza with scissors because, quote, crime is a disease and he's the cure. When a cult of axe-clanking neo-fascists start a killing spree, Cobra ignores every rule in the book to deliver maximum ballistic justice. He is the ultimate 80s action fever dream packed with laser sights, one-liners, and enough hair gel to code a battleship.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to call it right now. I think Cobra is going to win this one by like a lot.
I also think it will.
Yeah, because just whatever else. I cannot picture the the poster, the box, the box art for any of these. Cobra, it's a real knockoff kind of Arnie pose what he's doing on it, but it's just right there in my mind.
Yep.
Yeah. Finally, from 1984, we have Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. Can I say something about a joke one of the jokes I'm most proud of on this show?
I encourage you.
My synopsis in brief, like back in the day, the original Street Fighter movie took place in like a fictional Southeast Asian country known as Shadaloo. So my up top synopsis in brief when we covered Street Fighter the podcast was Street Fighter 2 Electric Shadaloo. So
yeah.
The community center is under threat from a greedy developer, and there's only one way to save it: a series of increasingly gravity-defying street dance sequences. Kelly, Ozone, and Turbo. I'm going to read that one more time. Kelly, Ozone, and Turbo return to prove that breakdancing isn't just an art form, it's a civic duty that can defeat corporate bureaucracy. With its neon colors and more is more energy, it's the movie that gave the world the greatest sequel subtitle, maybe in cinematic history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think Cobra's going to win. Any particular one that you're rooting for here?
There is a big part of me that wants to watch The Apple, so I think that's my hope. But I agree with you. I think Cobra is going to win in a landslide. All 4 of our listeners are going to pick it.
Yes.
To recap, we've got The Apple, 1980, The Barbarians, 1987, Cobra, 1986, and Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo, 1984. Hadouken.
No. Okay, so those are options. Again, if you are listening on YouTube, we're going to post a link to all the stuff, the Spotify channel and the survey itself in the episode description. And if you're listening on Spotify, we should have the survey attached to the episode itself. I think our plan generally, we're hoping to get some amount of votes and some momentum, some volume here, but a single vote from one of our listeners can potentially sway the entire thing, depending on how this goes down.
Yeah, we just need one.
Just need one. All right, Andy, any closing thoughts before we wind it down there?
I think we are going to have a lot of fun with this cycle, and I think we're going to be ready to watch a good movie afterwards.
Yeah, this is...
That's my prediction.
Right, yeah. Again, what are we doing? We got like the 3 host picks. We got a live watch, cinematic thing. We got the 4th. Yeah, this is going to be... This may honestly end up being a bit of a slog.
Yep, could be. but it could
Yeah.
also be a hell of a lot of fun. We'll see.
Yeah. B movies, big swings.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, Calvin, my friend. We'll talk in a little bit.
All right. See ya.
Hadouken.